certainly not always the most important factor either. From this example, let me go to a very simple example. A golden brown toast. In the morning, I would like a golden brown toast. If I go to a restaurant, I ask for a golden brown toast. I know what it is. But it's not enough for them to ask the cook to say, hey, a golden brown toast. I know what it is, but someone else will come after me and ask for a golden brown toast, and he has something else in mind. So we need to measure color, chromometry. And we need to measure in a way that is repeatable and reproducible. That's certainly for me, no, that's a burnt toast. Few people would like that, I think. Many people would like this. To me, it's a little too dry. To me, that's a golden brown toast. This is probably a little too pale for me. Let's develop a measurement. Can color be measured? Of course. Not that I'm saying that all restaurants should measure the color of their toast, but just for purpose of discussion and illustration. Of course, if you have a color grid and you have a toast, then you can rate the color. You can say, well, this is a 15, this is the 23, 34, if you have a scale. And of course, you need to make some assumptions. You know, the color is not even here. Many variables will impact the process and the resulting color. Bear in mind that we are measuring for the purpose of making sure that whatever output we put out meet the customer requirement, the voice of the customer, and to develop a process that will reliably deliver within the voice of customer. So what are the processes of making bread and toaster? What are the variables that impact the color of bread? Well, the bread itself, there are many variables here in terms of the water content, the thickness of the slice, the taper of the slice. If you make toast, you know that the two slices at the end, you know, they're not tapered, they're not parallel, so you will typically burn the extreme. So what else? Where do you keep it? Do you keep it in the fridge? Do you keep it? The temperature of the bread when you start preparing it is certainly very important as well. And is it dry? Has it been? When did you buy it? In the end, all these variables impact the color of the bread. So you can get a complete grid from totally white to totally black, get a rating system, and to make sure that your system is valid, you need to check with the customer. Does he agree that this toast meets his requirement? And you need two persons applying the same measurement system, coming up with the same value. And the same person seeing the same toast twice, giving it the same value. This is what we call repeatable, reproducible. And it can be tested, of course. You can get a bunch of these toasts, put numbers in the back, and you can test a stack of 30, have the same person rate them, and have different person rate them until you get it just right. If it is important, of course. If you've decided, if you've looking at your strategic analysis, you found that this is critical to satisfaction, you need to measure it that way. And come up with a voice of customer. When my bread, before the customer even sees it, is between 63 and 87, it will meet the voice of the customer. And then we need to check if the customer indeed says, yes, it does meet my requirement. We call this, by the way, interlinking. Internal measurements with external measurements. The advantage and the strength of internal measurements: immediate feedback. Not in 2 hours when you don't know who did the toast, what variables were involved. Immediate feedback is key to learning. When it comes to measurement and measurement system, garbage in, gospel out. Let me repeat that. Garbage in, gospel out. We measured it. This is the real result, the value. It has been proven. Once you believe that, you do not question this belief again. It becomes ingrained, unchallengeable, it sticks, and this is how we create superstitious organization. Bad measurement systems are deadly for learning. So we are doing this in order to get the settings of the toaster right, and maybe change the technology if the settings alone cannot deliver within the voice of the customer. Various toasters will have various controls. We are interested in having an owner manual for the operators so that they know how to set it for various type of results that they want. But then there's various technologies, as you see, each of which has its own variable, its own risk, its own vulnerability, its own bad habits. You see that, this is better to avoid burning. If you see it, if it's about to burn, you'll stop it. Here you have you have certainly the temperature, but you have the speed as well to adjust. We are interested in finding a customer requirement and being able to measure it, set target values, and develop settings for our process, or develop a process that can meet the desired settings.